This is our presentation on sulfur dioxide pollution. Presented by Madison Rand,
Isabel Dayrell, Priscilla Salvador,
Jessica McManus, Talisa Joseph.
What are the sources of pollution from sulfur dioxide? Well, the first question to ask is, where does pollution come from? Sulfur dioxide is a gas that is emitted from fossil fuel combustion. It is commonly expelled from machinery that uses gasoline, like automobiles, power plants, ships, and construction equipment. The graph shows emission sources of sulfur dioxide in 2009 from 4 named sources. Non-road sources, meaning off-road machinery like lawnmowers, construction equipment, and so on, takes up only 10% of this graph. An example of a point source, which is pollution from a single identifiable source with relatively high emissions, are electric power plants. On the graph, point sources use about 18%. Some examples of non-point sources, which is smaller stationary sources not so easily distinguished, would be things such as dry cleaners and residential wood burning, which takes up about 14% of the graph. So how does sulfur dioxide enter the atmosphere? Well, it enters the atmosphere when it dissolves in water vapor to form acid rain. However, the majority of sulfur dioxide is released into the atmosphere when it comes from coal burning power plants or combustion of any other fossil fuels.
When sulfur dioxide comes together with water and air, it produces the main element of acid rain, sulfuric acid. Acid rain can cause the removal of forest, make waterways more acidic, which can damage the life of sea animals, and lead the corrosion of building materials and paints. In Europe or North America, the potential for producing acid rain from sulfur dioxide emission is higher, whereas in Queensland there is less heavy industry. Our low sulfur content of fouls and water conditions make the production of acid rain less likely to happen.
The health effects of sulfur dioxide can vary on how you come in contact with the chemical. If you inhale the chemical, it can be very toxic and can cause death. You may start to feel effects within 10 to 15 minutes. It can give you severe irritation of the nose and throat. At high concentrations, sulfur dioxide can cause life-threatening production of fluid in the lungs. Symptoms may include coughing, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, and tightness in the chest. A single exposure to a high concentration can cause a long-lasting condition such as asthma. If this occurs, many things like other chemicals and cold temperatures can easily irritate the airways. Symptoms may include shortness of breath, tightness in the chest, and wheezing. If skin comes in contact with this chemical, it will either irritate or burn the skin. Permanent scarring can result. Direct contact with liquefied gas can chill or freeze the skin, causing frostbite. Symptoms of mild frostbite include numbness, prickling, and itching. Symptoms of more severe frostbite include a burning sensation and stiffness. The skin may become waxy white or yellow. Blistering, tissue death, and infection may develop in severe cases. Eye contact with this chemical can cause irritation or burn the eyes. Permanent damage, including blindness, can happen. Direct contact with liquefied gas can freeze the eyes. Permanent eye damage or blindness can result.
Sulfur dioxide pollution comes from a few places, but the main source is through power plants. How can we prevent this, you may ask? You can prevent this by having improved efficiency of conversion of fuel to electricity. This will reduce the pollutant emissions per unit of electricity created, resulting in less pollution. We can shift to nuclear generation as fast as possible, since no sulfur dioxide is emitted from nuclear plants. We can turn fossil fuel plants to lower their amount of sulfur fuels. We can remove sulfur from coal before combustion or of sulfur oxide after combustion. But before it enters the stack of power plants, the techniques should be used to have coal prepared. Other ways can be through use solvent refined coal, buy things with less sulfur, and have gas that has a low BTU content. Also, we can try to use more solar-powered things.